AFTV Picks have gone and done it again. This week for the Arsenal versus Manchester City game, we are giving away an Xbox Series X. Free. Yeah, free. Also, you can win yourself up to £1,000. All you got to do is enter AFTV Picks, make your selections, and the Xbox, and up to £1,000 can be yours. You've got to be over 18 to enter, and the link is in the description. So click on it now, don't hesitate, and win yourself an Xbox Series X. Hi, welcome along to AFTV News Daily at Xbox Series X. It can't be bad, can it? Right? All you got to do, enter the competition right now, AFTV Picks, and you can win yourself a share of up to £1,000 and the Xbox. I've given away PS5s. I've got Xbox to give away now, all right? My generosity is going to run out soon. I've got on board with me tonight, James. Welcome along, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Robbie?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And we've got Cecil in the building as well. He's got his pictures there blazing in the background, man. Look.
It's lit.
Lit. Welcome along, guys. Welcome along. It's Friday night. I know you was doing the quiz over on Instagram earlier.
Yeah.
Cecil, how'd it go? I heard you game on the
Yeah, no, it went well. We obviously got some fans' opinions as well on the game yesterday and their thoughts ahead of Man City. But yeah, we got a winner straight away, Robbie, within the second round. Some kid, 14-year-old as well. I asked the question, who's had the most Premier League appearances, Ray Parlour or David O'Leary? And and he got it. He got it. 14 years old. I was like, raw.
Man, gooners out there, they're not like you know, like when you was on the other day. They've got their skills. They've got their skills, man. Excuse me, but no, listen, great to have you guys on board. And yeah, you know what? Later on, we are going to touch on the game, touch a bit on the game from last night because it's a bit boring, to be honest. And look ahead to the weekend. Look ahead to that big game on Sunday. I want to get your guys' opinion on what sort of team Arsenal should possibly go in that game. It's going to be really interesting to see. I did an interview today with a Man City fan. James was there, and they are proper confident, man. I mean, it was unreal listening to him talk, wasn't it?
Oh, I mean, the way he was talking, feeling confident. Aguero, De Bruyne, they might play. It's like, oh, wow. But Bernardo Silva's been doing really well. Gundogan's player of the year. I'm thinking this is.
Oh no, man! It was horrible. It was horrible, man. It's going to be hell. But listen, first of all, though, I've got to touch on this. Right? We don't like having to talk about this, but unfortunately, we have to. And this is this abuse of players on social media. Now, we've seen it all season. We've seen it with Man United players, Martial, guys like that getting abused, Pogba. We've seen it with various clubs. A black player makes a mistake in a game or has a bit of a bad game, and next minute, somebody's out on social media abusing him racially. Right? Now, during the week, we had Eddie Nketiah, young player at Arsenal. So I'm getting a bit of feedback there. Is that you there, Cecil? Young player at Arsenal getting racially abused, right? And then today now it emerges that Willian, the latest player to get racially abused on social media, he shared some of the social media posts saying that, basically, disgusting stuff about Willian. And, this is just becoming beyond a joke now. It's happened to Nicolas Pepe. It's, honestly, it's really now getting beyond a joke that, these things just keep happening. And I wanted to get people's thoughts on it. What do we do about it? How do we stop it? Now, let's first of all start by saying that Willian has been having a poor season. I think even Mikel Arteta came out today, it was in a press conference, James, and said, listen, he can understand why fans are having a go at him. Willian's a big boy. who's been playing football all his career, and he will understand that if you're having a tough time of it and you're not playing well, the fans are going to have a go. They will have a go at you. Simple as that. I've had a go at him for his poor performances. There's nothing wrong with that. But why does it have to turn into some sort of racial connotation? I mean, I was doing an interview with Kelechi last night, and he was going, after Aubameyang missed that chance yesterday, which, Aubameyang should have scored, Kelechi's going to me, the first thing I'm thinking in my head is, is he going to get racially abused tonight on social media? I mean, this is getting beyond a joke now, and it's disgusting. And I wanted to get your guys' opinions on it. I mean, Cecil, I'm going to start with you. I know you used to play. Did you ever get any racial abuse when you played?
Not direct racism. I never got direct racism at all. There was racial incidences. So there was a player at my club at the time. He did a racial attack on a Muslim group in his area. After that, it was going to court. It was all on trial. He was then allowed back after all it went through. It was allowed back while it was all being sorted out. He was allowed back to the club, and he was playing youth matches while this was happening. So I didn't receive direct racism, but there was racist incidents in the club. He was a white player, went straight back into the club. It was just that was the only thing that I really saw. So I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really received direct racism when I was playing, but from when I've left football, there's been racial incidences that's happened throughout my life. I mean, when you're being black in England, that happens. I'm sure, Robbie, as well, you've had times where racism has been affected you, but it's annoying. Daniel Kaluuya said it amazing. I said this in one of our shows. He said this is what I want you guys to just quickly take in. He said, right, just picture this, right? You have a house and you're asleep and it gets robbed, right? The house gets robbed. And then the police come and you question, you're like, oh, my house was robbed. Can you investigate it? They say, yeah, of course. So then they take you to the cell. They take you to a cell. They lock you up, and then they question you. They come and take you out. They question you and say, why were you robbed? And I look confused. You say, what do you mean? Why was I robbed? That's your job to find out. That's the same when people ask me all the time. They say, what do we need to do with racism? I was like, I'm not racist. I don't know. It's it's your job. Like, it's you guys' job to sort out. Why are you asking me? I've never been a racist in my life. Do you know what I mean? It's you guys to deal with. So there's that. There's many things. The social media thing we spoke about as well, James. Me and James spoke about this 3 times already this week. They're quick to block you when you use different music, or use someone else's video. The video gets taken down straight away. When it comes to racism, it's fine to stay there as long as it wants until it's reported enough times. It's a joke, Robbie. It's an absolute joke. So I could go on this about this for ages. In stadiums, there's racism, fans chanting. But when you think about it, there's ticket numbers allocated to seats. There's cameras in the grounds. Like, when I drive in a bus lane, I get a ticket to my door within the next week. Like, in stadiums, I have the technology to find out who's doing a racist chants, and they should ban them. Like, there's very simple answers to this. So people just do not care enough. And if I'm honest, we're looking at focusing on racism within football. There's a bigger picture to that. It's not going to just automatically finish and get sorted in football when there's a big problem within the world and society today. If I'm honest, Robbie, it's not going to get any better. That's it. We're talking about it a lot. Great. But
you know what? That's what I don't like when we have that. And I understand why you're saying that. When we just say it's not going to get any better, because something has to be done now. As far as I'm concerned, something has to be done. I'm sorry, I've got a super chat here from the Signature. He says, Robbie, it's a minority of fans that ruin it for all of us. If the players decide to come off social media, we lose out with less interaction. And he's spot on there. And I do want to make sure that we make that point, that it is a minority of fans. This is not, and that goes for every club. That goes for the idiots that are abusing Nketiah. That goes for the idiots that are abusing Willian now and Pepe. It's a minority. It's a minority. But how do we get these minority out? We don't want them. We don't want them in football. I'll tell you, even since we've started doing this stream tonight, there's been people coming in here with putting monkey emojis and stuff like that. This is tonight, live. I can't tell you how much racial abuse I've had since I've been doing AFTV. Loads of it. Loads of it, man. You know what I mean? until I remember when I did my documentary on it, and I said, you know what I mean, and this is a bad thing when you start to get used to it. But that's what happens. It's a bit like what you were saying, Cecil. You start to get used to it.
Of course.
And we can't get to that stage where we start to get used to it. We've got to start calling it out now. I'm glad that these players have been calling it out. They've been calling it out for what it is, right? And nobody's against banter. Nobody's against, having a go at a player or whatever if you don't think he's performing. But racial abuse, I don't understand it. I don't get it. You know what you're doing. You know why. I mean, James, what's your views on it?
This is the third time this week we're speaking about it. Cecil and I did a show this morning. I kid you not. This morning we spoke about Eddie Nketiah. How long? 5-10 minutes? Yeah. We spoke about it, Cecil. And we spoke about how this is ridiculous. This needs to stop. People need to do more. Social media companies need to do more. That we can't believe how many times we've spoken about it in a week. What happens a couple hours later? The Willian news come out, and you're just thinking, oh my word, this is relentless. It's just a complete and utter disgrace. What do we do? That's the big question. What do we do? A lot of the reports that we're hearing recently have been social media related. Racism exists outside of social media, but that's a damn good place to start because that's where people are more unfiltered. That's where you can put something, send it, and you know what? You don't have to take any responsibility for it because it doesn't have to have my name, my @ my face, my address, my anything. That is where we can make a start. It doesn't solve everything, but it would make a massive start because if you give people a degree of accountability in life, immediately they take a second longer to think about their actions. You know what? Maybe something doesn't happen. We've heard the term keyboard warriors. Everyone feels confident behind a screen. Everyone feels confident when it's, but it's not going to get back to me. I just think social media companies, I know Facebook released a statement saying that Instagram were going to do more and that, whatever. Quite frankly, more isn't enough. We need the full, everyone needs the full shebang, everything. You've got to, and I suggested this, and I think it was, I can't remember which footballer suggested it, but I love the idea. You log everyone out of social media, everyone. It's a mass worldwide log out. And you can't log in, and you can have more than one account, but you can't log in until you provide some sort of ID, license. I don't know what it's got to be, but some sort of genuine accountability so that if something were to happen, it can be traced back to you. We know exactly who this person is. Why should you be allowed an account online, a profile, a character, a persona online, if there isn't anyone to have the accountability for it? And that, for me, is where we start.
Yep. And if you walk down the road and you racially abuse someone, you can be locked up.
Yeah.
If there's other people who say, yeah, you know what, I saw that. He called Robbie the N-word. The police will come and lock that person up. Well, there's that as well. But, you can be locked up. Whereas on social media, you get away with it. I mean, you just put something up there. There was somebody there who just posted a load of monkey emojis. Where is that? Put it back up.
There was quite a few. I don't know if I can.
Put them up, man. Put them up. Yeah, don't delete those things either. Leave them.
Oh, so
right? I want people because I want people to see it. I want people to see how real this thing is, right? And people take this like it's some joke, right? This ain't no joke to me. I'm black and I'm proud of my color.
Facts.
Right? I'm proud of my color, right? And I'm just the same as James, and James is just the same as me, and Cecil is the same as me, and we're all the same.
Facts.
Right? And when a footballer goes out onto that pitch, right? I don't care whether he's black. I don't care whether he's white. I don't care if he's Asian. I don't care what religion he is. I don't care anything. All I care is that he's giving his all for Arsenal Football Club. That's all I care about, right? And if I am angry with that player and he's had a poor performance, I'm not going to go on about his race. His race has nothing to do with his poor performance. His race has nothing to do with his good performance. His race is his race. He's got the red and white on. That's all I'm interested in. He's got the red and white of Arsenal on, and I want him to score a goal, or I want him to do well in his defending, or whatever it is he's doing for the club. And, you know, I can understand now why there's some players now. I saw Zaha saying that, you know, he don't want to take the knee no more. Because you know what? Taking the knee stuff has been great, a great symbol to show that the players are together on this issue. But is it having an impact when you see, even tonight in our stream, when we're talking about this, that people feel that it's still funny or whatever, or they want to post up their monkey emojis? You ain't welcome around there. So, you know, I understand why someone like Zaha is saying this. I don't want to see that, you know, we want action now. And these social media companies need to start doing more. They need to start doing more. I think it's because, I don't know, James, right? And I don't know what you think, Cecil. Do you think a lot of this is because we are at the moment stuck at home because of this pandemic, and because there seems to be more and more of it at the moment? Like, and what I can't get my head around is like we're saying, and big up Pepe there for he's saying that Troops gives the most abuse on his stream against Willian. That's not racial abuse. Yeah, I you know, I haven't seen any of his streams recently, but I know it's not racial abuse. I'm talking about racial abuse here. I mean, I don't like when people abuse and go too deep down on a player. That's another matter. But specifically what we're talking about here is racial abuse. And we all know that when people use racial abuse, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They want to hurt that person badly by using the color of their skin. But I'm just saying, do you think because we are in lockdown at the moment and we're all stuck at home that maybe that's led to a rise in this? I don't know what you guys think.
It's a great question. I think there's a degree to which maybe perhaps that is true. I think it's exposing more racists. I don't think people have become racist because they're in lockdown. I think they were racist, and yeah, they're bored at home. They're sad, living their sad, miserable lives, and they feel the need to say the things they say to people. I also think, to a degree, I want to sort of be careful how I phrase this. I think maybe there was a point not that long ago where people suffered racial abuse and maybe didn't want to speak out about it. And now maybe there's more empowerment, and people suffering this racial abuse feel they are not going to tolerate it, and they're just going to say it. And they're going to come out and they're going to have their say, and they're not going to be kept quiet. And that's a very powerful thing. And that in itself is a step in the right direction.
It's been led by the players.
Yeah.
Being led by the players, because the initiative to take the knee, that was from the players.
It was, yeah.
That was from the players, right? And the players now are talking out about it. I know back in my, I'm a bit older than you, well, a lot older than you guys, right? But back in my time, you speak to a lot of players then, they didn't speak out because they were like, you know what? I don't want to speak out because it might affect my playing career. Because in them times, a player spoke out about it, they would be invariably be hit with the words, "Oh, get on with it. Come on, what's the problem? It's a bit of banter, get on with it." But now, the young players of now are like, "Yeah, what's this? I ain't having this." And quite rightly so. I respect those players. They're like, "I ain't taking this. What you call me? No, I ain't having this." And they're speaking out.
It's a step forward, but still more needs to be done. It's all well and good talking about it, but it's still, there's so many problems in the world when it comes to racism. And like, there's a comment here, Sood says, don't take them seriously, 90% of them are kids. But for them to feel comfortable to say it is bad enough. Their upbringing, or for them to even say it, that says their upbringing is wrong, or they don't know what they're doing. And secondly, the punishments aren't harsh enough. If kids are comfortable to say things and they go into society and they try and say it to someone in person or do a monkey face or something in person, they're going to get themselves knocked out. So they've got to be careful. This is why it doesn't matter if they're kids or not. It's still wrong. The kids is not an excuse for me.
They like you said, we've had people on stream tonight doing it. Tyrone with a super chat, he says, "Facts, Robbie. Who cares what color you are or who you pray to? or what you like to, well, I won't say that last word, right? He said, people are people, right? Also, big up to James, Young Lee Judges, Stella. He's right. People are people. And Legend Sweet with the Super Chat says you're going to lose on Sunday. We will get to that. Don't worry, right? But, you know, it's you know, I'm a colorblind guy when it comes to these things, right? As I said, I'm very proud of my color. But I'm a colorblind guy, right? You know, even with our company, we were talking about it the other day, guys. Remember we were saying that you know, it's a very
inclusive.
AFTV is a very multicultural organization, very diverse indeed, and it's not diverse because I've been like ticking boxes. So I was not like, oh, I need a white guy, so let me employ James. Or you know what, I need a light-skinned guy, so let me get Cecil in.
Come on, G.
How I employ people, I employ people based on talent. That's how it should be. I don't care what color you are, right? It's based on talent. And you know, I don't know. The social media companies, they got to do more. They got to do more. This is getting beyond a joke, and it's highlighted. I think James was spot on when he says, you know, it's being highlighted more, I guess, because we're at home, we're seeing it. Plus, as well, you would have thought everybody's taking the bloody knee all season to say that we stand against this, and people still don't care.
It brings light to it. Yes.
So you know they don't care. They're like, yeah, I don't care if you take a knee and you're my favorite footballer and you're taking the knee.
Yeah.
Right. I'm still going to racially abuse you. You know what I mean? So the social media companies need to start banning these people. They need to, you know, get their IP address, get rid of them. Social media, I've said this a million times, a brilliant thing. We wouldn't exist if it weren't social media. You know, I think it's a great, great, great thing. Unfortunately, it's open to abuse. And unfortunately, like that guy, the first guy up sort of said, there's a minority of people that use it, you know, to do these type of things. But unfortunately, it's more and more prevalent. And whether you think Willian has been having a terrible season or not, which I, for one, think he has been having a terrible season. I think Willian this season has been rubbish.
We get it. We get it. We get it.
But
we get it.
What has his colour got to do with it?
Nothing. Not a thing.
His colour's got nothing to do with his performance. He's just been rubbish. And, you know, he, as I said, he's a big lad. He's a big boy. He's been playing football all his career. And I'm sure he will realise that he's been playing rubbish. And I'm sure he will not want to sometimes read what's being said about him after a game because, you know, fans are going to be like, yo, Willian, I don't want him on the pitch. He's playing crap. There's nothing wrong with that. You're stating your opinion, but where does the colour bit have to come into it? That is what is bugging me. And then you've got some players, they ain't even playing rubbish. They just have a bad game. And then it's you black this, you end this. You had one bad game.
I've seen criticism of Emil Smith-Rowe today. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. I thought, if Emil Smith-Rowe's in the firing line, then quite frankly, no one is safe. No one is safe.
There's nothing wrong with criticism, right? You know what I mean? We get criticised day in, day out here on AFTV. I can take it. And you know what? Fair play. People are allowed to criticise. You may not rate my interviewing style. You may not. That's no problem. That's your opinion. You know, sometimes you could be right. You know, sometimes it's constructive criticism. I can learn from it. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. You say, Robbie, your interviewing style is crap. Cool. But if it's Robbie, you black, your interviewing style is crap. Well, why did you have to put the black into it? That is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. And it's very hurtful as a black person when you hear this sort of abuse. And I really want these social media companies to start clamping down. You know, are they serious on it? If somebody was abusing their mum, would they just leave it and say, oh, it's all right, nothing we can do about it? If Mark Zuckerberg's, I don't know, wife was getting, abused, racially, I don't know what color or what she's from, but let's just say she was black and she was getting racially abused day in, day out. Do you think you just leave it?
No way.
Come on, these companies now, if you are serious about dealing with this issue, then get serious.
Yeah. Listen, be critical. Don't be critical. Do not get personal. That's all it needs to be. That's all it is. You can critique people. You don't need to be personal. I don't understand it. You must have so much hate in your heart. It's more a reflection on you more the time than on the person that you're trying to give criticism to. If, in my honest opinion, it's getting outrageous. It's really annoying. It's just getting really annoying.
And the football companies as well. Right, they're not immune from this as well. Your FAs and your Premier League, and, as I said, all FIFA, all of them.
I work with them.
Right?
I work with them. Yeah.
Right. I always say, if you're serious about something, take the right actions.
Yeah.
Take the right actions. You know what I mean? We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this so that it happens. We never get rid of it completely, but when it happens, it's like once in a blue moon. But we got to be serious with it. The sanctions have got to be serious. That is how you stop it.
I wonder if it will ever get to a point where social media companies are so useless at dealing with it that big companies, football clubs just say, we're off social media. Don't want to be on Twitter because the way you allow people to treat our players isn't right, and that would be a massive thing to happen. But racism is equally massive, right? So at some point, equally more massive. So at some point, there's got to be if they're not doing it, we come off it. I'll come off Twitter. I'll come off Instagram. I just wonder whether maybe.
Jay, I hear what you're saying, Jay. It just doesn't. There's such big corporations that they wouldn't even. Honestly, I don't think they would care.
I know. I'm probably dreaming. But I wonder. Do you guys think that would help? Do you think it would send a big enough message? If these platforms aren't protecting us, because one day, I'll tell you what will happen. Actually, one day something called Twitter or Instagram will come along. They'll do the exact same thing. They'll say, listen, come to our platform because we actually have proper protocols in place and we'll protect you. And you can still do all this and that, but you're going to be looked after. And it's a safe space and you can't be on it unless you have ID. And people will go, well, that's a much better environment for me. So they don't do it. I mean, social media companies, once every 5 years, another big one comes along, another TikTok, another Twitch isn't social media, but and they come and they knock on the door on the big boys, and I just wonder whether
you know what, James, that might be the thing that changes it.
Yeah, you're right.
It might take a company like that. I mean, if I was a social media guy right now, like looking to start a social media company, right? It's particularly I wanted to deal with it within football. I'd go along to all of the footballers in the Premier League and all around and say, right, we're starting this one, but this is a safe environment, right? So, like you said, people are going to be vetted before they come on, and anybody who does any racial abuse will be banned for life. Never ever be able to come back on it again. So come over onto this platform. Come over here. This is, and imagine if all the footballers then left Twitter and went on to this brand new platform. Maybe that will then be the thing that makes Twitter change, because money does change things.
Absolutely.
When they start to lose loads of people, if Facebook start to lose loads of people, but it's so powerful at the moment that it's as if like this is just a tiny problem to them. I mean, we might be making up a lot of noise about it over here in the UK. To them, it's a little small noise. So it's nothing that they're taking serious right now. But you make a good point there, James. Sometimes that's the only way things change, because when people are hit hard in their pocket.
Do you know what, though? I hear that, but still, it doesn't solve the problem. I know what you're saying; it just doesn't solve the problem. Everyone can distract themselves, go to a different social media platform, but racists will still be there. And it's
you know what? I've said this before, Cecil. Yeah, it's not the job of football
to solve racism. Yeah, 100%.
To solve racism. That's the job of a government. That's the job of governments. However, where I do have a go at football is that if you have got a game and you're saying that this game is a multicultural game, this game is a game that we're against racism, we're against homophobia, we're against all of these things, that means you have to make it that if people come in that don't adhere to that, they're not welcome. They're not welcome. You may be able to go and do that somewhere else, but you ain't doing that in football. And that is what football has a duty of care to the people that are involved in it and the people that go and watch it, to make sure it's a safe environment for people to go. Well, I don't want to go to a game and hear no racism. And if I hear it, that person should be thrown out. Social media companies are also saying that there's no. This is what, not what I've said, not what you say. It's what they say. They say that their platforms doesn't tolerate this sort of things. So what are you doing about it? That is the question. That is a question what we keep asking. If you said, you know, there's some of these social media sites out there where they say, hey, listen, free speech, anything goes. You know what? In a way, I'm like, well, yo, you know what? They've already told you. They've already told you that they don't care about whatever you say on there, right? I ain't going on those sites. But if you're saying to me that my site, this site, we don't tolerate this sort of stuff, we say no to racism, slogans and all that, then when it's happening, what are you doing to deal with it? Are you serious about getting rid of it? And that is what the social media companies and football has to solve. You know, it's not your job to, you know, eradicate racism in the society. That is a job of governments.
Yeah, but they don't care. They don't care enough. Like, it takes Marcus Rashford to. They don't care about feeding our children.
They even abused him.
Yeah,
you've forgotten.
I know, Robbie. Trust me, I know. That's what I'm saying. They don't care.
Nobody's safe, man. Nobody's safe. Look at the things he's done.
Yeah,
look at the things he's done, and he's still got abused.
I know. It's a joke. Listen. It's actually traumatic for it's not even just black people, because Saka got racially abused. James, you're not full English, like you can get racially abused. Do you know what I mean? There's so many things you can get pinned on. It's just hatred. It's just disgusting. And like you said, like the government don't care enough in this country. Like they don't care about our children, don't feed the children. Rashford's doing, like you said, he still's getting abused every time he has like one bad performance. Like they don't care. And it's not football's job to solve racism, like you said, Robbie, 100%. At the end of the day, it's society's issue, and the governments and every country that has it in
it's not, but you know what as well, James, it's not just that. It's not just much as I say it's the government's responsibility as well. What I also think about it is our responsibility as well.
Yeah, parents, generation.
Each individual person is our responsibility as well. So that's why we're doing this program talking about it today, because when I see it, I'm calling it out. Yeah. And a lot of times I've called out racism before in the past, and I've been criticized, and people have been, oh, come on, I'll get on with it, Robbie. Oh, what's this got to do with football? I want to talk about this. And I'm like, yo, bro, no, I'm sorry, I'm calling it out. It's our responsibility to call these things out when they happen. We can't just stand by and just be ignorant and just turn the blind eye to it. So we've all got a certain responsibility to it as well. It's a bit like, you're in a game and you see somebody racially abused. I mean, I've got a friend, a very, very good friend of mine. He's Jewish. He went to a game, Arsenal playing Southampton. And somebody was speaking to it was a halftime. They're speaking to the person behind the kiosk, and they're making anti-Semitic comments about the person behind the kiosk, the serving. And my friend, who's Jewish, said to them, hey, hold on, hey, bro, listen, I'm Jewish. I take offense to what you're saying. right? And the guy kept on doing it. And my friend said, no, I'm not. I'm, you know, you're an Arsenal fan and I'm an Arsenal fan, but sorry, your language is unacceptable. I don't, and he reported him. Good. And the person got thrown out. And I commend him for doing that. There'll be other people who say, oh, he snitched out a fellow Arsenal fan. No, he didn't. He snitched. Well, he didn't even snitch out anybody. He reported a racist. And the racist, not football fan, he ain't an Arsenal fan, the racist was removed from the ground. That's how I look on it. That's not an Arsenal fan. Right?
Yeah. Too right.
End of. Simple. So we've all got a bit of a responsibility in this as well. When we see it, let's call it out. Let's not try and pretend, oh, he's an Arsenal fan. So Arsenal fans, listen, unfortunately, this exists within all fan bases. Yeah. There are no, you know, I mean, I've heard people before have said to me, fellow Arsenal fans, oh, the Chelsea lot. It's not just Chelsea. It's not just, you know, a lot of the abuse have been in recent times have been the Man United players, not just Man United. It's every single fan base, unfortunately, has a small minority of these idiots. And us as football fans, we've got to call them out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wanted to just really quickly touch on something Cecil said when we were talking about other platforms and how it ultimately wouldn't eradicate the problem. It'd almost just hide us from those people. But almost in a sort of maybe a bid to offer a little bit of hope here, sometimes I think these issues are nurture over nature sometimes. A kid's brought up in the wrong environment. A kid's educated terribly into thinking that certain things are okay, looking at people and feeling a certain way that they shouldn't. I think if you have a social media platform in which it's not tolerated, kids are impressionable. And by the way, this is not a kid's problem. This is, if anything, it's actually older generations at times. It lives through all generations. But on social media, forget it. Forget I said kids. People of all ages are impressionable. Sometimes they see something and they think they got away with that. They don't really know what they're saying. Or maybe they know, but they know they got away with it, so they're going to do it again. And I just think if you start eradicating it by having proper sanctions, that will, I think, start to make a difference in the way people almost internalize the information they're seeing and what it's doing to kind of their nurture and their personal development. Do you know what I mean? It's a start. It's not, you're right, it's not going to fix everything, but hopefully it's a start. And sanctions, I think, is a big part of this, because I'm sure we've all had it when we were all kids. You do something and your mum gives you a big old slap. You don't do that, and you get an absolute rollicking, and you shit yourself as a kid. Sorry, mind my language. And you think, I'm never doing that again. And maybe at the time you don't really realize why, but you just go, I'm not doing that again, because whatever I just saw my mum do, I'm not, you know, that nearly, yeah. But then maybe you grow, you mature, and you look back on that incident, and you go, right, no, actually, that was awful. I know why. And I think sanctions will proper sanctions for this will go a long way towards showing people, even if for the wrong reason, even to deter them just because they don't want the sanction. With time, they will learn why that was wrong. But at least in the immediate, you're seeing people getting punished for that, and it's deterring others from doing it. And hopefully start a bit of a cycle. I don't know if what I've said makes sense.
No, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And, you know, you are right, because sometimes there's some people that have been caught doing some of these racial things, and they actually do think it's just a laugh. Yeah. They don't understand the consequences of their actions. And when it's sort of brought to their attention, this is how the person you said it to, this is how it made them feel, they actually feel remorseful. So sanctions are needed, and the appropriate sanctions. But sometimes the sanctions, the only way you're going to learn, like what you just said there, you get a slap, or in my case, when I was growing up, it wasn't always a slap, it was sometimes a belt. but you know what you learn.
Yeah. You learn,
and you know, and if that's backed up with, you know, if you're told the reasons why it's, you know, why you've been sanctioned, then you have a chance to change your ways. And if you then continue down that path, even though you know what you're doing is wrong, then, you know, social media company ban you for life. You never, ever come back on social media again because you cannot use it in a responsible way. You know, just like, you know, with football, you know what I mean? Some people don't always, you know, not everybody gets banned for life. Sometimes that's not the appropriate sanction for what they've done. But if you're a repeat offender, no, you're not welcome. You're not welcome. You're not welcome on social media. You're not welcome at a football game. And you know why it really, you know, it really upsets me as regards to football, because I see football and I've been around the world, luckily, following Arsenal and watching football and England, and I see how football can bring people together. Football, unlike hardly any sport in this world, football can bring people together. I remember when I went to the World Cup in Russia, people were telling me, Robbie, don't go. All Russians are racist. The Russians this, the Russians that. You'll go over there, they'll be waiting for you and beat you up in a field or something like that, especially as a black guy. I went to Russia and I had to say, man, like, the people that I met there were brilliant. They were brilliant. They were so glad. I spoke to a lot of Russian people, some who I'm still friends with to this day and still talk with, right? They were so glad, right, to have people from all over the world come to their country, right? And yes, there is a minority of people in Russia. They do have a problem with racism in some places in Russia. But I can tell you this, it's not all of Russia. It's a minority. And football enabled a lot of people in Russia who maybe wouldn't come into contact with a black guy like me and a guy from Mexico and people from South America. And it enabled them to come into contact with people of different races, of different cultures and religions, and interact and talk and just realize that, wow, they're exactly the same as I am. Apart from I support Russia, he supports England, or he supports Mexico, or he's a Peru fan. Football's incredible for that. When I was in America, and I was having a great discussion with an American gooner who was also a big Trump fan, massive Trump fan, right? But he was a great guy. He was, you know, he explained to me why he was a supporter of Donald Trump and make America great again. And trust me, when he explained it, I'm like, fair enough, bro. I understand why you know, Trump's not my kettle of fish, but I understand it. He wasn't a racist. People assumed, you know, some people would assume, oh, he's going to be a racist. He weren't. He just had a different political point of view to maybe what my view would be. But football brought us together. The common thing that we both were there for was to watch Arsenal play. And that's the great thing about football. And that's why I hate when I see football being used by these racists. They've been doing it for years. They tried to use it as a way to bring people into their way of thinking. And the football authorities need to make these people realize you ain't welcome. Not over here. Go somewhere else with that. Football is played by everybody, is watched by everybody, is for everybody. And let's keep it that way. You know what? We got about 10 minutes left. I do want to come off of this now. I want to talk about
heavy, man. It's heavy on my heart, Robbie, man.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy. It should be heavy, but it's heavy.
And I want to come on here night after night talking about Arsenal. Not talking about our players getting racially abused. And I don't want to be scared, like Kelechi said last night. He was fearful that the first thing he said to me is, oh, here it comes for Aubameyang after missing those chances. And that can't happen. So let's call it out when we see it. And let's, you know, hopefully these social media companies will start doing something about it. I want to talk about The weekend. City.
Yeah, talk to James.
I'm the one with the hope, apparently.
You got hope?
Yeah, well, I'm a weird guy, you know. I was pessimistic about Benfica when everyone was spouting off.
Yeah, that's true.
3-1.
You said 1-1 and you were right.
I know. I thought, oh, I'm not so sure, but actually, everyone's writing us off completely for this, and I think we might do something. Why do I think that? Because I think there might be a bit of a belief in the squad after what we did in the FA Cup that we can do it. I think when we went to the Etihad back in, when was it, October, November, we actually didn't play that badly. I know City weren't the same team then, but we did all right. You're looking at me, Robbie, like you're just thinking, yeah, no, it's that look that this guy is talking, he's doing anything to convince himself. No, I've got faith. I've got faith in the team. And if there's one thing Arteta's got right consistently since day one when he arrived, it's getting us organised and sorting out the defence to a degree. You could debate whether we're better since Emery, better since Wenger. We're not, but better since Emery. Whether he's improved us at all, whether the signs have had an impact. You debate all those things about Arteta. Fine. I don't think you can debate that we're better defensively, and that is the one thing that gives me hope. With the pace we've got on the break, the fact that we prefer playing against teams that give us space, don't sit in low blocks, and we're defensively more organised, maybe we might sneak something.
James in Wonderland. No, you know what? Big up James, man. We got to have some hope. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I said it earlier. I did a preview on with the Steam company. I said it earlier, man. I don't want Arsenal to go there and just, well, we're at home anyway, but I don't want Arsenal to just turn up in that game and wave the white flag. Like what I've seen so many teams this season, they're beaten by City before their game even started.
Yeah.
They're like, they go out there, they're going to have all the position. They're going to make Tottenham last week. They were disgraceful. They've got Harry Kane, they've got Son, they got Ndombele, they got Bergwijn, they got all these attacking players. But they never once really attempted to win the game. They just literally said to themselves, it's Man City, we're going to lose. I want Arsenal to be brave. I want Arsenal to be brave. Yeah, be sensible, be organised, but have a go. Let's try and cause problems. No, not just park the bus, Stan. I don't want to just
I loved how it's in capital letters.
Yeah. We parked the bus against them in the first game and we got beat. We still lost 1-0. I want us to go out and have a go. I want us to pose problems to their defense. So that's what I want. Cecil's keeping very quiet. I noticed he don't want to say nothing, right? He's got no hope. But when we come on, it's Arsenal, man. We're Arsenal Football Club. Let's go out and pose a problem.
City are the best at picking off teams. If we go there, listen. Do you know what? I hope I'm like surprised, and Arsenal surprise me, and we get the win. But
play with no fear.
All right. Play with no fear.
Remember Leon last season. Remember when Leon played City? Mm-hmm. They had no fear of City. They weren't scared. They weren't scared of City. They knocked them out of the Champions League against all odds. Because they weren't scared of City.
Even Norwich played them off the park at one point.
Yeah. Too many teams are scared.
Yeah, well.
Let me say one thing, right, about City, this amazing run they're wrong, because they're superb. And Guardiola is such an amazing manager. And to a degree, I'm happy for him because people are writing him off. But with these runs you go on, they're delicate. One thing goes wrong, it can derail you. And if you look at Liverpool, who were unbelievable till around this time a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, suddenly Watford 3-0. Yep. They were unbeaten and they got slapped up by Watford. And then actually they had a pretty indifferent post-lockdown. They weren't great. The title was won. I get all that. What happened? Champions League, Atletico Madrid did a job on him, made it uncomfortable. The wheels came off. These runs that teams go on, they're so impressive, but they are delicate. Now, I'm not sitting here saying we're going to beat City. I'm confident. I'm not saying that. But we have the manpower. We have the players to do it. We knocked them out of the FA Cup. And they were pretty in form at the time. They weren't having their best season, but everyone completely wrote us off. We can do it. Like, let's not. They're not invincible. Only we're invincible.
Exactly. Look at Cecil. He looks stressed. He's not having any of it.
Oh, listen. Make sure you tighten up the seats at the watch along. Make sure the ceilings, floorboards are nice and secure, because I know everyone's going to be banging on that ceiling when we go 6-7. No.
Shut up. 6-7.
Listen,
have something. See, this is it. You know what I mean? You're being a bottle job now.
Oh, stop it! Come on, look at the threat Man City possess, Robbie. Come on.
Do you really think it could be 6 or 7?
No, okay. That I'm playing.
I mean, touch wood.
No,
I mean,
we have no
they
threat.
can do that, but
no, we have no threats.
Yeah, we have threats. We have Aubameyang. He scores goals, right?
No, we have threats. Well, he scored a hat trick in his last league game.
I'm playing.
Right, we've got threats. We've got Saka is a threat.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
we've got Aubameyang is a threat. We've got Lacazette is a threat. Right, Pepe can be a threat if he turns up.
Hey, Harvey keeps trolling you.
I said it earlier. I remember when we won in the semi-final, we didn't bottle it. We were brave.
Yeah, you're
that
right.
Goal that we scored when we played out from the back and beat their press with close. You know what I mean? Where players were receiving the ball under pressure, not just what I saw from Tottenham last week, which was safety first. Safety first. When you do that against City, you're going to lose.
Yeah, they'll break you down. They'll eventually break you down. Yeah, 100%. But Robbie, come on, though. Be realistic. Come on.
I'm being realistic. You got to take a chance. I'm saying I saw Leon last year when they played City. Yeah. They were brave. They respected City. They knew what they were up against. They knew they were up against one of the best teams around, but they were brave.
You confident we can win?
They had no fear.
You confident we can win this game? You confident we can win on Sunday?
Of course, I'm not confident we can win. They're just going. They're on a 17-game unbeaten run. But what I'm saying is, if we just go into that game and we play like what I saw Tottenham do last week, which is basically you're scared, and everything is safety first, you're going to lose anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, don't go gun ho stupid like what we saw Southampton do the other day and lose 9-0. But I'm saying, have a go.
Okay.
Play your game. Just like City. You know what makes City so good, right? It's not just the great players they've got. It's it doesn't matter who they play against. They play their game.
Yeah.
And they have a way of playing. They have a way of playing, and they don't change it. When they've come to play you, they're imposing what they do on you. So we have got to look on it and say, all right, they're a better team than us, but we're going to try and impose some of what we do well on them. And I'm saying that we don't see enough of that from teams that play Man City. Basically, the majority of teams that have lost on that 17-game run have bottled it. They've just said, oh, City are going to have all the ball. And De Bruyne's playing and Gundogan and this and that. We're done. We're beaten already. Let's go out there and let's be brave.
Yeah, you can say that about every game. We do want the boys to go out and give it all and be brave. I like this comment here from Steve Sousa. Pepe has to be in a lineup to be a treat. I think he's a threat.
And I'd like to. I think Pepe will start in that game.
Do you?
I mean, I don't know with Arteta if he's going to rest players or whatever. I don't know. I just saw a comment there. What was it? Let me see if I can find that one. This one. Let's see you guys think about that. Saka versus Foden.
Right.
It's right. Yeah. We have a big opinion on this. James, who wants to go?
Okay.
Go on.
Saka is phenomenal.
Correct.
Foden is better, but he's also ahead in his progression.
Thank you.
No.
Sorry, not having it. That's it for me.
Robbie,
you think Saka's better than Foden?
Saka, I'm going Saka. Foden's playing in a better team.
Correct.
A much, much better team than Saka. Saka, 19, playing in a team that's had loads and loads of problems for the last 2 seasons, has been one of the standout players in the Premier League. Right? Consistent. His consistency is unbelievable.
Facts.
He scores goals. He scores goals. He beats players. He can play in multiple positions. He can play left back. He can play left midfield. He can play right midfield. He can play number 10. Right? To me, if Saka was playing for Man City, he would be even better. For me, Saka all day long.
Look, good.
I like this comment. Santos says, "Be brave, Robbie. If we lose 5-1, you'll all call for Arteta's head." No, sorry, man, but listen, man, that's part. Listen, as a manager, that's your job. You can't be worried about what I'm going to say, or what James is going to say, what Cecil's going to say. Your job is to motivate those players and go out there and try and win a games of football. If you start worrying about the fact that you might lose and get cussed off, then you're in the wrong job. And I don't think Arteta. I think Arteta is a guy that, you know, he's got them leadership qualities. Leaders don't worry about noise. They don't worry about noise. They get on and do what they're supposed to do, and they do it well. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Listen, you make good points. Yeah, me and James. Oh, wow. Yeah,
we're just spending too much time together, Cecil.
We really are. We really are.
Well, I'm geeky offer. Cecil, you're a disgrace. I hope you get relegated. You know?
I can't get relegated. Well, Robbie could, I suppose. You can put me on loan. You can sack me. But no, you make good points. You make good points. But Saka, like you said, Foden's had more development. I think right now he's only just a little bit ahead of him. But next season we can.
Why is he ahead of him?
I just think
why is he ahead of him?
Why
is he ahead of him?
With my eye test, naturally he's more gifted than Saka, in my opinion.
Is he?
He's added goals to his game. He scores a lot of goals, does a lot of assists. Yeah, Saka is on the way to the full potential. But right now, I generally believe
this is the real debate, though.
No, why? Why is Foden ahead? What has he done to be ahead of Saka?
I just told you he scores more. Obviously, I know you can say Saka's playing left back, but scored more goals.
Who scored more goals this season? James, come on, get on this, man.
Foden.
Has he scored more goals?
Has
Foden scored more goals than Saka this season?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I think Saka might.
On the phone.
I think Saka might edge it.
Oh, Foden has
Maybe.
6. Foden has 6. Okay, it's only one more.
One more goal, and as I said, he's playing in a much better team.
Premier League.
He's playing in a much better team. Much better team. Imagine if Saka was playing with De Bruyne and all these guys.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think Saka playing in various roles also makes fans or people that are trying to judge him who are neutral say. I think that hinders it hinders him, in my opinion, playing in multiple roles. I think Foden playing in the midfield and getting goals, he is further along in his progression, in my opinion. I said, we wait till next season and they can make a fair enough judgment. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, but everyone, that's what I'm saying, right? But, all right, if you want to put it that way, that's fair enough. But too many people are here saying, oh, Foden, why?
You can't tell me Foden's not good, Robbie.
Of course he's good. I didn't say he wasn't good. Foden's a brilliant player. Foden is a brilliant player, but why is he? You know, why do you just assume that he's better than Saka? Saka is a brilliant player as well. Right. And to me, the only difference is, I said, is Foden playing a better team.
Look, I
don't really see much difference in the two of them. I think they're both brilliant players.
Look, there's a lot of truth to. I mean, I would love to see how Saka does in this City team, mainly because I think he's a real Pep. I think he's a real Pep Guardiola player. The way he nurtured Sane and Sterling as wingers. Mahrez is slightly different, but especially the other two, Saka I think would thrive under Pep. I edge it for Foden, and I've got to be honest, I can't. And you know, I love to cover my numbers and everything, but I'm on Cecil's vibe here, in that there's just I watch him, and I think he's world class now.
Yeah,
I think right now Phil Foden is a world class footballer.
Why?
Why? Because it's 1-1 at Anfield, and he's able to go around Henderson and Fabinho like they're not there and dink it over the keeper. I think that was.
But Saka could do that. Saka could do that as well.
Saka
last night in a game, everybody's poor, right? Including him having a great game. Who gets the goal that saves us in the game? Saka.
Yeah, no.
How many times has he been doing that?
Robbie, Foden is
how many times?
Just a little bit ahead of Saka. Come on.
No, I'm not. No, why?
Be real.
Why?
It's the
why?
It's an opinion, man. I think Saka is quality. I think he's the best youngster we've produced since Fabregas. I think he's now edging over Wilshere, who I think was a phenomenal talent when he came through. By the way, Foden reminds me a lot of Wilshere, but has a bit more end product.
Yeah.
I just look at Foden and I just think, yeah, of course he plays for City. Of course that makes things easier. And that's a really good point. How would Foden fare at Arsenal is probably the big question.
Yeah.
You know, but
I know that Saka having to be played wherever you play him, he's been brilliant. Wherever you've played him, I've only ever seen Foden play where he wants to play, but I've seen Saka. Oh, sorry, Saka, we're gonna have to put you in as left back. We've got a problem here. Brilliant,
yeah,
brilliant when he played left back.
Yeah, he's a consistent player. He's consistent.
Oh, Saka, we're gonna have to play you on now over on the right hand side. Brilliant. Now, Saka, we're moving you back over onto the left. Brilliant.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is Phil Foden's further along his development. I think right now he just edges it on Saka. You can ask why, but just that's my opinion. Saka, I love Saka. I talk about Saka every day, Robbie, with James. Every day. And Balogun. I speak about them too every day and literally say they're honestly God's gift to football. Well, Saka, it's God's gift to football. He's amazing. The best player we have right now. Fact.
He's our best player. Saka.
Yeah. Foden is just slightly ahead in my opinion.
I think Foden is a very good player, but I think Foden is a brilliant player, as a matter of fact, not just very good, but I think he's playing in a much, much better team.
Yeah, no one's
right. That helps him a lot. You know what I mean? If you've got De Bruyne and you got, you know, Jesus and Aguero's and this and that all around you, of course you're going to look $1 million nearly every game, right? But I'm saying that look at the mess we've been in, and this kid has showed up every single. His mentality and mental strength is unreal.
Yeah,
I think we got ourselves a fantastic player.
Yeah, and actually,
I am backing my guy Saka. You lot are sticking your Foden. I'm backing Saka all the way. Further ahead of developing what?
That's the amazing thing about
multiple positions.
This is quite a good point from Bigger Q. I hate to say this, but Cecil and James are saying this because of the state of our team is in. If we were like Man City, they would change their tune. Trust me. Could have a point there. If we would, I mean, he's doing great, but
a great point.
He does. But still.
Saka's numbers are really impressive. And that is what is so special about him as a youngster. It's the talent, it's the flair and all that, but also he's putting up real numbers. But I think we can all agree that the future looks very...
Tell him, Jonas.
Why'd you pull that up, Cecil? Get rid of it.
I'm sorry.
Tell him.
I think we can all agree the future looks very bright for England and that we can't wait to see Southgate play Dyer and Henderson in midfield with Declan Rice and ruin it all.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we've come to the end of the show tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We did have to touch on, really depressing subject. I'm glad that we finished it off on a better note. I mean, this sort of stuff here. This is what we're talking about. This guy here, the Viking. Mm-hmm. Even though we're talking about social media, even though we're talking about, the racism that's going on. This is what we got to put up with. The guy still feels he can come on this channel tonight, despite what we've spoken about, and come with a gorilla emoji. And this is the problem, and I want to highlight it here. And that's why I'm leaving him up here, not to big him up, but just to show you some of the disgraceful people that exist on social media. These are the type of people that are racially abusing Willian. These are the type of people that are racially abusing Marcus Rashford. And they get away with it. And it's so easy to do. And they feel so empowered to do it that even on a show like this, where we've been discussing it for over an hour, he feels he can come on. And he's not been the only one tonight.
Yeah.
And deliver his gorilla and monkey emoji. And I don't know, he might think it's funny. Or he might be a complete racist. He probably is. But this is what this guy, and there's many others, unfortunately, that's what they're all about. And until the social media companies take this serious and remove idiots like this off of social media permanently, get rid of them, this is what we got to put up with. And this is why we do programs like this. Because people like this exist. It's not us. It's not Robbie playing the race card. or Robbie this. You can see it there. That's just one.
Yeah.
This is what we got to put up with as black people sometimes. Idiots like this. So, social media companies, let's take them out. Let's get rid of these fools. We don't want them in football. We don't want them in football. They may be going, you know, I don't know, that's their thing outside of football. But if you want to be involved in football, you want to be part of the football family, then you either switch up your ways or you go elsewhere. You're not welcome. End of. Guys, thank you very much tonight. Thank you, Cecil, as usual. Thank you, James. Thank you to everybody who's been interacting with us all night. Don't forget my brand new channel, the Don Robbie channel. Make sure you check it out. We've got some great content on there. Expressions shooting off his mouth about that belt he keeps going. We're going to deal with that next week. But check out the Best of Enemy show with me and Expressions. A brilliant head-to-head that we did with the Merseyside derby with James Redman and Speedo Mick, Everton and Liverpool fans. That was brilliant. So make sure you check out and subscribe to that channel. Make sure you do your AFTV picks, a chance to win an Xbox Series X and a share of £1,000. Make sure the link is in the description. Get involved in that. And also, don't forget this weekend, or shall I say, on match day, on Sunday, we're doing a big thing for Prostate Cancer UK. We're going to be raising money for them throughout our live stream. So make sure you get involved with that as well. Big up the guys from Prostate Cancer UK doing a great job. Thank you very much for the everybody who was involved in the show tonight. And we will be back tomorrow.
2 secs.
Oh, the Foden lovers want to say something. Yeah.
Wait. So Robbie bigged up his channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to AFTV as well. See how he does his own.
Well, I'm not part of AFTV no more. They got rid of me. You see, these Foden lovers.
Yeah,
these Foden lovers now. The Foden lovers have got rid of me. You know what I mean? Look at that.
That P45 is coming for us.
Comment and subscribe to AFTV.
P45 on its way.
Yeah, it is.
At the bottom now.
See you guys tomorrow. AFTV Picks have gone and done it again. This week for the Arsenal versus Manchester City game, we are giving away an Xbox Series X. Free. Yeah, free. Also, you can win yourself up to £1,000. All you got to do is enter AFTV Picks, make your selections, and the Xbox, and up to £1,000 can be yours. You've got to be over 18 to enter, and the link is in the description. So click on it now, don't hesitate, and win yourself an Xbox Series X.